Previously on Expansion Locked. The last episode was our first video completely out of Chromie time. We started off by doing a few quest lines in Shadow Moon Valley and quickly moving into weekly raids. Starting off with Gruul's Lair, moving into Serpent Shrine Cavern, Black Temple, and then ending with Meg Theridon's Lair. We also ran through a few dungeons trying to work on a few recipe drops and quests from our boy David Wayne out in Wayne's Refuge. We ended last and start this episode at 25.53%. Let's get into it. We begin this episode running a few dungeons for Transmog and to complete some quests, starting off with Steam Vault. Steam Vault has 3 bosses, with a third locked behind killing the first 2. This dungeon also drops 4 recipes that we'll need to farm, 1 enchanting, engineering, jewel crafting, and 1 tailoring. I will farm these when I'm leveling professions on my alts with these professions. The first boss being Hydromancer Thespia. She has 4 Transmog drops. The second boss being Mechaneer Steamraker, having 6 transmog drops and the engineering pattern. After you kill those 2 bosses and use the control consoles behind each boss to unlock the last door for the final boss. The final boss being Warlord Calithresh, having 12 transmog items and a jewel crafting pattern at a 1% drop chance. The last 2 recipes drop from mobs in the dungeon, and I will go into detail about them when I need to farm them in the future. After Steam Vault, I decided to work on my cooking a bit, with almost getting it to max. I won't be showing 100% of every profession for all characters, but I will be adding in random clips to show progress here and there. Then I'll put it in the video when I max out each profession to keep you guys updated. Since we did a lot of the quests in Shadow Moon Valley, we made our way to the outskirts of Shadow Moon and Terrakar for David Wayne's quests. I figured I would just continue with more Terrakar questing, as most of Shadow Moon Valley quest lines are either raid or reputation.
From the broken slopes of Shadow Moon, we enter the quiet, shadowed groves of Terrakar Forest. Towering trees conceal ancient Draenei ruins, while Shatrath City stands as a rare beacon of hope and sanctuary. But beyond its walls lies the Bone Wastes, where the great temple of Auchindoun lies shattered, spilling restless spirits and dark cults into the land. Terrakar is a crossroads between life and death, sanctuary and shadow, and what we confront here will echo across all of Outland. At the heart of Terrakar lies Shatrath, a city once devastated by war, but now reborn as a place of neutrality. The Naru Adal presides here, offering shelter to all, Alliance and Horde alike, and making the city a base for those who would fight the Legion. But outside its walls, danger grows. The explosion that destroyed Auchindoun tore open the fabric of reality, releasing countless spirits into the Bone Wastes. The Shadow Council thrives here, manipulating the chaos, summoning demons, and preparing Outland for another age of Legion dominance. Adventurers descend into Auchindoun's many wings, the Auchinai Crypts, the Mana Tombs, the Sethek Halls, and the Shadow Labyrinth, each one tied to a different threat, each one a step toward silencing the Shadow Council. To confront them is to strike at the Legion's foothold in Outland, cutting away one of its most dangerous claws. The Shadow Council's defeat at Auchindoun severs another tether of the Legion's strength. The restless dead are stilled, and the great forest breathes easier in their absence. Yet the ruins remain a scar, a reminder of the cost of Outland's endless wars. As we leave Terrakar, the path ahead grows clearer. To endure, this broken world must be freed from the Legion's grasp once and for all.
After working on some leatherworking and tarot card quests, we make our way to Sethic Halls, the dungeon containing the elusive Raven Lord. This dungeon has 2 bosses, but 3 bosses if you're on Heroic. First boss being Dark Weaver Sith. This boss only has 4 drops. Next, since this is Heroic, we have Anzu the Raven Lord himself. Herself? Whatever. Anzu drops 5 different transmog pieces, with also having a chance to drop the Reigns of the Raven Lord. This mount has an approximate drop chance of 1%. I've seen a 0.8%, 1.5%, so roughly just around 1%. Luckily, we already have the mount, so we don't need to farm it. And lastly for this dungeon, we have Talon King Ikis, which has 13 transmog pieces. Now that the quests for this dungeon are done, let's head out and continue working on some tarot card quests. There's another questline done here. Let's finish this David Wayne quest and head out to Shattered Halls. Shattered Halls is going to be the dungeon I run the most in this expansion. If you didn't know, there's an NPC you kill on Heroic after the last boss called Shattered Hand Executioner. He doesn't spawn in normal, only Heroic. He drops 1 of the 4 primal motes with a range of about 2 to 4 quantity. This is going to help me like crazy farming primal emotes, as you probably need about 3 to 500 for some of the primals. Sad thing is, primal earths are one of these drop, and they are by far the easiest to farm, but also the least used in the expansion. After Shattered Halls, we hand in this last David Wayne quest, and it finishes the quest line for Shadowmoon Valley, which leaves us with 2 left in that zone. After we complete a few more tarot card quests and finish another quest line, we have 3 down here, 2 more to go for this zone as well. Our next quest leads us into Mana Tombs. This dungeon has 3 bosses with 1 extra boss on Heroic, if you do a questline in Netherstorm to obtain a key that unlocks his prison. This dungeon also has a decent drop rate for Primal Shadows, which will help when I need a farm for Transmog. Speaking of Transmog, the first boss Pandemonius has 10 drops to obtain, the second being Tavarok having 11, and the last boss being Nexus Prince Shafar having a total of 18 drops, and that's not including the Summoner boss beside him that requires a questline from the Netherstorm to summon. Ooh, I wanted to go north and kill these guys quick. It's like ogres or something here. These guys. Pattern. Okay. Doesn't say he drops a pattern, and it's literally the very first guy I kill. Ooh, suppose you have. Ooh, thank you. Boom. I think we just buy one of these. I could do this. Do a cloth one. After checking a few vendors in Tarokar, I wanted to get the Skettis achievement for bombing the eggs within 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I won't be farming this daily as I don't need the reputation at the moment, but I do need this achievement, so 1 time is enough. With cooking still in mind, I turned my mindset to professions. I farmed Ravagers for their meat and skinning every kill to help with my leatherworking progress. My hope is to get leatherworking maxed as soon as possible to not hold any extra patterns in my bank. And with that progress, I hit level 50 leatherworking, which means a big set of patterns are able to be learned. That gets a whole 4 spots out of my inventory, and 4 steps closer to 100%ing this expansion. Just like in Classic, there are daily fishing and cooking quests in Shattered City to complete, both having a bundle of treasures that I will need to farm items from. Here I am handing in my first cooking quest in the series and hoping that one of the random recipes that drop. And lucky enough, I get one on my first attempt. Since I also hit level 50 with leatherworking, I do still need to train at the trainer. For all TBC professions, you can learn recipes at the trainer until level 50. Then the rest of the patterns are all learned from the world and / dungeon drops. And right before we move on from Shatrath, we hand in one last quest to complete another questline in Tarokar Forest. And with that done, we make our way into Nagrand. We started doing a few quests here in a Grand. Even though I'm not leveling with questing anymore, I still want to get all the quests done in the game on one character. 2 if I have time. One on Horde and the other on Alliance, as they are faction-only quests. We will see who will make our Horde main once we start to unlock ults. We might not unlock any ult until I complete Lore Master in the first place, which is completing all the quests in Outland. And if that is how we unlock our first ult, I won't want to try and complete Lore Master again instantly. While I do these quests here, I wanted to go over a few tips and tricks I've learned doing this so far, and my ideas on how I'll be focusing on certain difficulties. Now, I'm making this episode a while after actually recording this content. I won't give any spoilers on what happens if you're only following my videos and not watching the streams. I would only ask, what the heck, why not? Come hang out, join the community on Twitch and YouTube every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So going into this, I knew my main issues would be materials and reputations for professions. Corium ore was my main worry. Corium is probably the rarest ore in the game still to this day, and you need a lot of it to level specific professions, complete achievements, and obtain all the transmog. Biggest tip I have found is the more people farming Corium, the merrier. I have attached a picture of my route I've been farming. Red is me, and I wanted to give a big thanks to my community, especially Valet for helping me farm Corium. By myself, I averaged about 10 Corium ore an hour. With Valet, we averaged about 30 to 40 an hour. And with 3 of us, after Hans joined us for a session, we averaged over 60 Corium ore an hour. Adding more people tremendously increases the chance of finding Corium and resetting all the spawn timers. To measure the pipeline, tell you about 3 inches. I'm pretty sure the pipe's right there, bro. Maybe on top of it? Maybe under it? Maybe under it. Gotta look at the shaft. That's what it is. Since we're talking about hard materials to farm, let's go over primals as well. There are 8 primals in the Burning Crusade. Primal Might, Mana, Life, Earth, Water, Fire, Shadow, and lastly Air. The 4 main elements, Primal Earth, Water, Fire, and Air, are the main primals, and then Mana, Life, Shadow are the more rare primals. Primal Might, you actually create using alchemy to combine with Mana, Earth, Fire, Air, and Water all together. I will give my best farm for each of these primals to help in case anyone else is looking to farm these materials. Starting off with the Primal Might here doesn't really count as you need to farm the rest to be able to make this. The only thing I can say with Might is that there is a specific questline for classic alchemy that you get when you reach max and you can become a transmute master, and you have the chance to double transmutes. This would help out a lot making these. Sadly, this quest contains Pandaria materials, so I actually can't use it for my series. Primal Mana. The best way to farm, by far, is killing arcane mobs before and after Curator and Karazhan. You get between 60 to 90 motes a run. You can only do it weekly, but if you run on 10 characters, that's about 75 primal mana per week, which could be farmed all in one day. Primal Life. The best way I have found is to run Serpentine Cavern Raid in Zangarmarsh and kill the big bog giants. There's about 9 bog giants that you can kill. After killing them, you can herb them, and they drop about 2 to 5 motes of life per herb. I have attached a photo with where each of the 9 are. You can run through, kill, herb them, and run out and reset. You can do this as many times a week as long as you don't run out your instance locked for the hour. You average about 3 primal life a run. Just make sure you don't kill any bosses or else you can't reset the instance and you're locked out for the whole week on that character. Next one is Primal Earth. Basically just mine ores and you'll get lots of these. Keep extras, and if you have alchemy you can transmute these into other primals to help. Now, Primal Water. There's a few farms you could do here. My favorite and how I farm is running Steam Vault. In the opening room, there are 3 patrol packs of water elementals that drop an average about 8 to 11 motes a run, which doesn't seem like a lot, and there are better farms, but with this farm there is also 5 bog giants that, unlike SSC, where SSC has a guaranteed drop chance from only herbing, these have a chance to get motes of life on both killing and herbing, so you can knock out 2 primals in one room. Also, a third farm, this room also has a 100% chance to spawn 2 ore veins, with a decent chance to get Corium to spawn, little extra bonus, but you can also get bits of motes of earth and fire from these veins. So you just run the first room, kill the mobs, run out, and reset. The last 3 primals, fire, shadow, and air, But I'm also going to include water here as well, as I said there are multiple farms for it. There's an engineering item called Zap Throttle Mode Extractor, where if you have it in your bags, you can find clouds floating around the Outlands zones and you can extract motes depending on which zone you're in. By far, these are the best farms for these 4. The best places are for Fire, Hellfire Peninsula, Shadow, Shadow Moon Valley, Air, Nagrand, and Water, Zangarmarsh. You can just fly around the zone and look for a little dot on your minimap for the cloud and just use the item to extract motes from it. If you want a min-max farm for these, you can find those on YouTube with specific routes and pathing. Time to do another dungeon we haven't talked about yet, Magister's Terrace. This dungeon has 4 bosses, with the last one being Kael'thas Sunstrider, and he drops the rare Swift White Hawkstrider, one of the rare mounts under the rare mount category for alt unlocks. Magister's Terrace also gives Shattered Sun offensive reputation, so when farming the rep, hopefully we can obtain the mount for an alt unlock. Now with the first boss, Sellen Fireheart. He has 9 transmog pieces that he can drop. And just down the hallway right after him contains the second boss, a big arcane boy named Vexillus. He has less drops with only 8 transmog pieces to farm. There's also a cool toy that has a chance to drop from any boss here called the Orb of Cinderai, which when used transforms you into a blood elf, which if you're a big character or tiny gnome, lets you appear differently for a little cool appeal. It is one of my favorite toys as I normally main a Tauren and sometimes they are a little too big. The third boss is actually a council of 9 members, which is huge. Luckily they aren't very strong. They only have a drop table of 5 items for transmog, as most of them are trinkets. And lastly, we have the big man himself, Kael'thas Sunstrider. If you recognize the name, he is a big lore character in this expansion. Also, the final boss in the raid Tempest Keep over Netherstorm. He drops 18 transmog pieces here, and a battle pet called the Phoenix Hatchling. But most importantly, he has a chance to drop the Swift White Hawkstrider, which does have a decent drop rate of 3 to 4%, so averages about 30 attempts. No grabby laps, no freaking annoying talking at the very beginning. Speed. First frickin' try. Ugh. 4% drop chance. First try. That unlocks this. So this was under the Druid, Paladin, Warlock, So what do I want here? I technically want... I wouldn't mind Druid. I wouldn't mind Rogue. Rogue is probably the best. Druid, Rogue, Mage are probably the top 3. There we are. I'm not gonna level them today. Maybe at some point, but we created them. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have unlocked our first alt character, and it is by far the best option we could have got. Thank you all for watching. Sorry I've been a little delayed on releasing this episode. I haven't had much time to edit, and I don't want to put out a product I don't enjoy making. Come catch me live here on YouTube or over on Twitch Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and join the community. Let's see where this new character takes us. Thanks again for watching, and peace.